Hey, it's Cassie from Curry Honda in Chicopee. You're listening to the Bax and Nagle podcast on Rock 102. Come see us at Curry Honda for the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Experience the best at Curry Honda. Thanks for listening.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:49 and Rush with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Going to be cloudy today with a high of 37. Tomorrow, snow. We'll have more details about the winter weather coming up in a little bit, and a high of 34. It's 33 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Western Mass Masons. Call them for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Filmmaker James Cameron, known for his groundbreaking work in cinema, has expressed concerns about the rise of generative AI in Hollywood. Now, despite his own use of innovative technology in films like Avatar, Cameron finds the emergence of AI-generated performers troubling.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
Avatar, there was not a single live-action actor in the entire thing.
What's good for me is not good for thee.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
He believes that AI's ability to create entirely fictional characters such as Tilly Norwood poses a threat to human actors and the art of filmmaking. Cameron emphasizes the importance of preserving human artistry in the face of AI's growing influence in the industry. His comments reflect a broader debate within Hollywood about the role of technology in shaping the future of cinema.
The set on this guy.
It's like the Western Mass News doing the story about the Massachusetts and how the people of Ludlow should get a dictionary. It's like, hello, pot, this is the kettle.
Wow.
James Cameron.
James Cameron, of all people.
I really don't like AI, except for the AI that I used in that entire movie.
You know, the one that made me billions of dollars.
The one I light $100 bills with flames and then light cigars with those and smoke them.
The one that I had to pay the actors just, union scale because all they did was voiceover work.
Oh, boy. Kelly Clarkson. We don't do enough stories. Didn't I just say we don't talk about her enough?
I've been saying that for years, Steve. I'm glad you're finally listening.
Kelly Clarkson shared a rare photo on Instagram of herself and her two kids, son Remington and daughter River Rose, enjoying ice skating at Rockefeller Center. The singer captioned the post with a check mark emoji indicating a fun family outing. Is that what that means? The check mark? That doesn't necessarily mean that it was a fun family outing.
No, I believe it just means you're verified.
The thing is, people put pictures up on social media. They don't show what it took her to get those kids out of the house. And the asking of, can we stop somewhere to eat? Can we get a snack?
I got to use the bathroom.
There's no You know how hard it is to find a bathroom at Rockefeller Center?
River Rose bit my finger.
I like that one.
See what I mean?
That could be a thing.
Mom, she's touching me. She's touching me. She's on my side of the car.
All right, stay still so we can take the G-damn Instagram picture. Stop. Smile, 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 smile. Oh, God. I can't believe I take you kids anywhere. Because
I will turn this car around. We don't have to go out.
See, that's the more realistic outing of Kelly Clarkson.
That's the magic of family.
Anybody who's had kids in that situation, that's just one small little moment where she got them to smile.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Anyway, this comes after Kelly opened up about the challenges of parenting during the episode of A Kelly Clarkson Show, expressing her desire to do her best for her children. The family time is especially meaningful as Kelly copes with the loss of her ex-husband, Brandon Blackstock, who passed away from cancer in August. Despite their ups and downs, Kelly is devastated for their children's loss and is focused on supporting them through this difficult time. Keith Urban performed his song Messed Up As Me on his CBS series The Road, portraying the struggles of a toxic couple. I wonder what toxic couple he was referring to. Do you think it could be him and his ex-wife? He might be dropping, hints.
Could be.
The performance took place in Little Rock, Arkansas, as Urban closed a concert on the show. The lyrics reflect conflict and emotional turmoil, describing a dysfunctional relationship where two people know they aren't right for each other but keep returning. I wonder if that has any relation to your marriage to Nicole Kidman.
I'm sure it's all a fictional account of what's going on in the world.
Urban and Kidman recently confirmed their split after 19 years of marriage, highlighting the challenges and joys of their relationship in public statements. Urban also addressed the demands of life on tour, framing the road as a test for those suited for the rigors of the music industry. Yeah, I know I got that hottie little redhead all at home, but when you go out on the road, man.
How's a man supposed to keep pure on a road with so many different temptations?
I can't help it if these cowgirl groupies want to ride the Keith Urban.
It must be so hard to be him.
Actress Sydney Sweeney caused a stir online with her dragon costume from Shrek at a Friendsgiving celebration. The bold look went viral, with fans praising her for her striking appearance in a red metallic bodysuit, knee-high socks, and dragon ears. Sweeney's Instagram post featured her posting with someone in an inflatable donkey costume, with other guests also dressed as characters from the movie. Fans flooded social media with comments calling her insane, hot, and hottie. Those are three things that can be true at the same time.
All true.
As Sweeney shared more updates from her week, including time at Disneyland and a Thanksgiving water skiing video, the actress reportedly spent part of a holiday with Scooter Braun, enjoying a sun-filled getaway at the Florida Keys.
Everything you just mentioned sound like it's the most fun a person could ever possibly have.
Yes, and that's why people criticize her. You're going to dress up and for Thanksgiving, you're insane, but you're also hot. You're crazy hot.
And so we're all willing to overlook that stuff.
Well, you have to look at it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
91-year-old Shirley MacLaine was spotted in Malibu wearing a casual outfit accessorized with a large red hat and brown sunglasses.
My guess is they found whatever was lying on the couch.
The actress enjoyed a meal. It's whatever was left on the way out the door.
Is this dirty or clean?
Smell this.
I think it's clarty.
Smell this. Does this smell bad? Because I won't wear it out. MacLaine reflected on her enchanted life in the industry during an interview about her memoir and photo album. She credits her passion for dancing, counting her blessings for her long and healthy life. 91 years old. Did she steal the Sweet and Lows off the table? Because I would imagine Shirley MacLaine doing such a thing.
Isn't that a requirement at that age?
To steal the Sweet and Lows
Yes.
off the table. I believe it is. And Kim Kardashian had a hard time deciding which method was best for roasting a turkey over the weekend. She had a Friendsgiving. Yeah.
She must have something to
Well,
say.
no, she didn't know if she should cook it in a bag to make sure it's moist or better to roast it uncovered and use a turkey baster to squirt the juices all over the golden skin.
Now she must have something to say.
Oh, my God. The last time I squirted on that skin bag was when Ray J went butterballs deep into my yam warmer while flicking the pink pop-up timer in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
So great to be back in the studio. Caitlin?
I never had the inkling for the Thanksgiving feast this weekend. We decided to go different. But unfortunately, I started sneezing while eating at the Y.
Really?
It looked like foreskins on toast.
What are you trying to say?
A little cream chipped beef. What I'm trying to say is we washed it all down with a little bum bum chum chum. That's the back end. I call that the back nine. The front's the 6, the back's the 9.
How'd you do with the turn?
You don't even want to know. Let's just say I need a heavy cleanup when we get back to the stable. And that's your Hollywood trash on Rock 102.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch. Brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, let's face it. We live in a difficult clickbait world in which the internet and the people who use it are bombarded with false information, deceptive headlines, and ill-spirited deception that makes finding credible information virtually impossible to find. The information superhighway is often a dead-end street loaded with potholes and misleading people to unfortunate destinations. And it's not just the AI, and it's not just from hackers and identity thieves. Sometimes misinformation comes from those we believe are credible sources. Sources such as the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. On Saturday, the Football Hall of Fame announced the death of longtime Lions cornerback Lem Barney at the age of 80 years old. Lem Barney, as you may know, was a second-round draft pick in 1967 out of Jackson State. Lem played his entire 11-year-long career for Detroit until finally retiring at the end of the 1977 NFL season. Here's the problem. Lem Barney is still very much alive. In fact, that was confirmed by the Detroit News, who spoke to Lem Barney's sister. Also confirmed by the Detroit Free Press after speaking with Lem Barney's son that, in fact, his father was, in fact, not dead. A fact further confirmed by his presence during Thanksgiving. Hours later, the Hall of Fame issued a retraction of their earlier announcement by admitting that they could not independently confirm the news of Lem Barney's death, and so they issued a formal apology. So how does something like this happen? I'm not exactly sure. Pretty sure the Hall of Fame followed the same clickbaiting rabbit hole that all of us dive into from time to time. You know, the sort of thing that announced that former Patriots quarterback Steve Grogan had died over the weekend. He hadn't. In fact, Steve Grogan is also very much alive. And yet, like idiots, we share that information, believing that if it's on the internet, then it must be true, when in fact, it is not. Next thing you'll be telling me is that the Football Hall of Fame lacks enough parking to host outside events. Good luck convincing anybody of that bogus information being true. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Think ahead. A foot of snow, you and a shovel, or you and an Ego battery-powered snow thrower from Rocky's. Self-propelled, no smelly gas fumes. Rocky's is your winter storm headquarters before and after the storm. Well, available now at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock at 6:12. And Tom Petty with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Cloudy today with a high of 37. Tomorrow, winter storm watch in effect with a high of 34. It's 33 right now in downtown Springfield.
$260,000.
So far.
Yeah. We don't have the official total yet because we still have to add up all the PayPal donations from over the weekend. But by far and away, the most successful Mayflower Marathon that we've ever had. And there's loads of reasons for it. But to be honest, you don't go into it thinking you're going to beat records. You just think about, can I get through this? How many people can we feed? That's really it.
Is your plate full? That's what we're concerned about. And lots of plates are going to be full, and the need continues. You know, don't just think just because this event is over that the open pantry isn't in need. They're in need all year long, but this will definitely give them a boost and stock the shelves for a little while.
You know, when we went into it, there were a lot of people say, well, you know, what's your goal? It's like, you know, in a down year, in a year where there's like a lot of, you know, economic turmoil, the goal isn't always clear what the goal. You can't just say, well, we want to beat, you know, what we did last year. We want to fill up 7 trucks or 9 trucks. You can't always predict. So I'm usually hesitant to say this is our goal.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm always blown away by whenever situations call for it. It's like the community steps up and almost always rises to the occasion. And, you know, after all was said and done on Wednesday, I was floored by that number. I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect it. And I'm delighted that that's what it was. But, I mean, you're absolutely right. Food insecurity is a 12-month prospect. It's something that lasts all year round. So, you know, a few months from now, if you've got a few dollars on you or some food around the house or whatever, think about the open pantry. Think about, you know, some of the other food pantries that may be in your in your neighborhood.
A lot of towns have them. You know, there's one in the hill towns. There's one in Westfield. I think pretty much most municipalities have a local food bank that serves their surrounding area. So don't hesitate.
I think even Longmeadow's got one.
Yeah, I think. Listen, it doesn't matter where you're from. This is what our point was the whole time. Doesn't matter where you're from, how hard you work, or whatever. You can always wind up in a situation where you're going to need this assistance. And you know, you might say, "Oh, Longmeadow, why would they need a food bank?" Because there are people who, you know, they get themselves in situations that they need food,
and a lot of the times it's situations that are far beyond their control.
Right.
You know, just because you live in Longmeadow doesn't mean you have to care for, you know, elderly parents, or you may lose a job, or you know, whatever it may be.
Yeah. We joke about the Longmeadow people, but they're just as vulnerable as the rest of the population.
Well, I mean, they're probably less vulnerable than most, but for the most part, those that are in need, have to find some place to go.
Absolutely.
Even those in Longmeadow and other such affluent communities.
But just a big thank you to everybody who came out, and whether or not it was one can or $1, or you did $1,000 and 1,000 cans. Either way, every little bit helps, and that's going to go a long way for the open pantry.
Yeah, we had a lot of people, helping us, all of their sponsors and their businesses around the community. But to me, the ones that I'm the most impressed by are the people that are giving, the people who have either been through it themselves or they're giving. Even if they are struggling, they still give. So it's like, I feel, I don't know, I didn't know what the word is. I kind of said it in the video I put up on Wednesday or Thursday, that it's much more impressive to me to donate during a time of sacrifice than it is to just write a big fat check. I mean, I like the big fat check too. Don't get me wrong. But when you know that somebody is donating and they're struggling, I don't know. To me, that just says something greater.
Well, because you know what people are going through.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. The other thing is, how many people did we talk to last week that had been through it themselves? Like people, clients of ours that were saying, "Hey, we went through this when we got married, and we had to we didn't have a lot of food, so we had to go turn to the food bank." I mean, it's a real thing. People look at other people, and you get a perception of what they are and what they do just because they own something or whatever. Like all of us, oh, you don't need money, you got a business. No, that's probably the people that need it the most is the people that own businesses. I mean, it's not always this multi-million-dollar thing that they're involved in.
Listen, sometimes small business owners have mortgaged everything to own that small business.
Yeah.
And the only money they make is what they can clear after all is said and done. And it may not even be a real livable wage, but they keep trying to hold on to the business the best they can. And there's many reasons for that. But it's like, when you understand what food insecurity truly is, when you understand the enormity of it, and when you put down your prejudices and your ideas of what it must look like, and you start thinking about it in terms of real people that you may know, that may not tell you that they're suffering from food insecurity. When you put that into perspective, you start to realize, hey, wait a minute, this is more than my predispositions to believe something that may or may not be true.
Right.
And the reality is this is affecting more than half of everybody just in this county. And I think it's shocking and sad and preventable. That's the problem. We can all help and pitch in. And I got to tell you, watching what you folks did last week, it was really inspiring. So, on behalf of all of us, thank you for that. And on behalf of the Open Pantry, we want to thank you even more because they provide an amazing service.
And like I said, food insecurity all year long. It's not just a Thanksgiving time problem. It happens all year long. So if you get some extra food, we encourage you to go drop it off at your local food bank.
Now, having said that, how tired were you when you went home?
I was very tired, and I was going to take a nap, but I didn't. I decided, you know what? I got to do all this stuff. I'm just going to drive to Syracuse because that's a good idea. And
that was a marvelous idea.
And I did a video the following morning talking about our colleague, John O'Brien, and I swear, I looked at it afterwards, and I'm like, I look like I just smoked like 2 bongs.
I thought you did.
I didn't.
One in each hand.
I had basically rolled out of bed and wanted to say something because it was fresh on my mind, and I had not really had a chance to kind of process things throughout the whole week last week because obviously the news of his death came on the eve of the Mayflower Marathon. So it was a difficult balance. But man, I'm still like, this is gonna take me like 2 weeks to get over this.
Everybody that came up to me over the last couple of days, and it was not just we had Jenny's family over for Thanksgiving. We went out to eat a couple of times, and then but I had people coming up to me. Says, "Are you all rested up yet?" Dude, I haven't had one full solid night's sleep yet. Like I'll sleep for like a 2-hour block, and then I'll have this dream that we're about to go on the air, and I can't find the microphone.
Yeah, I don't have those dreams.
I have them all the time.
Really?
Especially after the marathon. I feel like every hour I got to get up and get on the air. And so I haven't had what I would consider a full night's sleep. It's like 2-hour, 3-hour blocks. I'm up for 45 minutes, and maybe I'll fall back to sleep.
You know what you should do tonight? Go home, get a nice big glass of vodka and an Ambien, and you will sleep like a baby.
I'm thinking about doing like a beer bong full of NyQuil PM just to see what happens.
Absolutely. I mean, that'll be that'll knock you right out.
Yeah, I'm starting to mainline like liquid Benadryl.
Do you want to know a good fast way to get your sleep schedule back on track?
Sure.
Fast for 16 hours.
Okay.
So when you get up in the morning, don't whatever time you ate last night. When was the last time you ate last night? What time was that?
Like 5.
5.
What time did we leave the thing yesterday?
So that was
5:30.
5:30 or so,
yeah.
Right? So you can't eat anything now until 12. What it was 4 hours from. You can't eat anything until 10:30 this morning.
Well, I already ate.
What'd you eat?
I had some fruit and a little bit of the Hawkman's fruitcake.
Well, now you ruined it. So now
I didn't realize there was a plan.
Tomorrow morning, when you whatever time you eat tonight, just count 16 hours from that time.
16 hours.
I'm telling you, I know it seems you can.
Could I do 8 and 8?
You can have a coffee.
Could I have 8 hours, eat something, wait another 8 hours, have something else?
You're making this way more complicated than it should be. Just wait for 16 hours.
Why don't I just do 4-hour blocks?
Because it's not going to help you. It's not going to. This is what happened with Kramer when he went and tried to take those 20-minute naps every 3 hours. That was going to help him. You can't do that. You got to wait 16 hours.
Could I eat something every 2 hours for 16 hours?
You know what? You could do whatever you want to do. I just don't want to hear you complain about how tired you are when I'm trying to help correct your sleep schedule. If you just wait the 16 hours out, just wait it out.
I'm not sure I could take it.
You can eat whatever you want after that, but then your body will be back in sync, and you will thank me. And you're like, thank you, Steve Nagle, Mr. Sleep Number.
It's 6:23 at Rock 102.
This is Ryan Pelletier at Raymond.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 6:29, and the Guess Who with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
Liam will have the full forecast for you.
Scott Cohen coming up after 7 o'clock this morning. We'll also have some other things. It's Autumnist Monday today. Chance to win something nice from Autumnist Farms.
Sweet.
All right, so there's all of that and more.
We met Liam Neeson last week, or Liam Murphy, whatever his name is. Liam Murphy. Yeah.
Nice young man.
It's funny how we get the weather from him every day via email, but you never actually meet these people, and that was like the first.
We knew Dan Brown when he was doing it.
Yeah, but we knew Dan Brown from other events that we had done, and know him over the years. This guy Liam, first time we actually seen him out. It was nice to see the kid when they let the kids out for recess over there.
And here they are. I was thinking it was like a half a day. That's why they were out early.
Well, it was because it was professional development day over at the station.
That's right. The managers were doing their professional development day. You're
That's
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You ready to laugh?
Yes.
Let's laugh.
It's Bax and Nagle's Joke of the Day
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
on Rock 102,
I make you laugh.
Springfield's Classic Rock.
So a guy starts calling his wife mother of 6 instead of her first name.
Okay.
And she thinks it's cute in the beginning, but then after a few years of being called this name, she gets very tired of it. And one night, him and his wife, they go out. They finally get a date night. They're out at a club, enjoying. And the guy yells to his wife, "Hey, let's hit the road, mother of 6." And then his wife shouts back, "Be right there, father of 4." You think? Because he's not the father of all the 6 kids.
I'm not his.
Yeah, she really. Yeah.
Bax and Nagle in the morning on Rock 102.
Here with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102, it's time for news brought to you by Gary Rome Hyundai. Technicians get up to $5,000 sign-in bonus right now. Learn more at GaryRomeHyundai.com/family. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. A portion of Boston Road in Springfield was closed Saturday night after a tractor-trailer struck hot wires in the road. You ever struck hot wires in the road on Boston Road?
No, but I've been to the hot table a few times. It was delicious.
Oh, yeah, it is very good up there. I like the paninis, the black and blue panini with the beef and the blue cheese.
Isn't that a good one?
It's delicious.
Oh, it's delicious.
Caramelized onions, I believe, on
Makes me wonder why I don't go there more often.
Well, there's several locations throughout Western Massachusetts that you can choose from.
Oh, I know.
There's one at the Pike in Westfield next to the Starbucks.
There's one up by Winnick.
Yeah. Oh, did that replace the... was it Peppa's 2 over there?
No, Peppa's 2 is on the other side of the street. This is on the other side of the street by Sophia's and the Joy Bowl.
Oh, whatever happened to the Peppa's 2 over there?
I don't know if it's still there.
That was a good idea to have a pizza slice place in a bar where how many times are you walking out of a bar and you need something to eat?
Yeah, I know.
Good place to eat.
Late at night, too.
Yeah. Springfield Police spokesman Ryan Walsh stated that at approximately 7:30 p.m., a report came in regarding hot wires down on Boston Road near Elmore Street. Shortly after, a tractor-trailer struck the wires, resulting in a utility pole falling in the area. When the 22 news crews arrived at approximately 10 p.m., What, 10 p.m.? It happened at 7:30 and you didn't get there until 10?
Well, they probably had other things going on. It is the holidays and everything.
When they got there at 10 p.m., they saw power lines down in Debris in the road. I don't know who's this Debris lady.
I don't know, Steve, but I believe it's pronounced debris.
A vehicle was seen with significant damage and was towed from the site. A detour was put in place of the area of Boston Road, Methuen Road, and Elmore Street on Saturday night while Eversource worked to repair the damage. So
are they sure it was a p.m. and not like 10 a.m.? Because that would make far more sense.
No, it was a 10 p.m. Thing.
I gotcha.
I didn't, I was in Wilbraham Saturday night, and I didn't even see this, but maybe I just wasn't in the right area when I came back. I guess I would have bypassed that this area of Boston Road.
Well, where exactly were you doing in Wilbraham?
I was doing a fundraiser for a young man who passed away last year, and then they had a fundraiser over at St. Mark's in Wilbraham.
Gotcha.
And I went by when I went there. I went by that new BJ's. Holy crap,
dude! The whole thing is unbelievable.
How fast? How is it that we can put up things? That was less than a year. That whole complex has been put up.
Yeah, torn down
and put up. A Chipotle is up and running. A Chick-fil-A. I don't know.
Hobby Lobby.
Huh?
The Sloppy Lobby is coming in.
Sloppy Lobby is there.
Yeah.
But that. I know the gas station is open yet. The BJ's isn't quite open yet. I think
like
that
another
opens,
10 days.
Yeah, another week or so. But holy crap! How is it that we can build something that fast? Yet a courthouse that has been growing mold and putting out diseases for how many years now? And they're like, oh, maybe we can move it over here to the riverfront, or maybe we can over here.
Because you probably get more in taxes. Property taxes and business taxes from a BJ's and a Sloppy Lobby than you would ever at a courthouse.
Well, you don't think we can start getting tax revenue from government buildings?
Well, probably not taxed the very same rate.
You think they write that off?
Yeah, you don't even know what a write-off is.
But they do, and they're the ones who are writing it off. Let's see. An Enfield man was arrested on Tuesday in connection with a major embezzlement scheme at a Connecticut funeral home. According to the Connecticut State Police, in October of 2024, troopers received a report regarding Petrus Funeral Home in Coventry. The individual stated that when she was assessing her client's financial accounts, she noticed that one of his clients had made a payment to the funeral home. However, the payment had never been transferred from the business account held by the funeral home owner to the trust in the account into the trust account. Following the discrepancy, an audit of additional clients who had used Petrus Funeral Home was initiated. On March 6, 51-year-old Philip Petrus of Enfield was arrested on the strength of an arrest warrant and charged with larceny in the first degree and embezzlement. Following the release of Petrus' arrest, an Eastern District Major Crime Squad in Tolland received many additional complaints from victims of the funeral home. It was discovered that Petrus allegedly embezzled funeral service contract funds entrusted to him from 31 victims over the age of 60. These victims reportedly held contracts at the Tala Memorial Funeral Home spanning from 2011 through 2025. Police believe all the victims involved in the scheme could have lost up to $1 million in total. According to court documents, Petrus and his wife have reportedly spent over $11 million at local casinos.
Wow.
Local casinos. So whether it be Foxwoods, Mohegan, or MGM, you spent $11 million?
Now, how much do they win?
That's what I'm getting at. Obviously not enough. Obviously, you...
Well, a good problem gambler is never going to believe in the idea of enough is enough.
Listen, of all the times I've spent gambling in my life, I don't even think I've won half back of what I've put into it. In the entire time, from the time I turned 18 to buying that first scratch ticket to going into a casino, I don't think I've ever even won half the money back that I've won.
If you're doing it correctly, let's say you start off with $100 and you win $200. If you're a good problem gambler the way you ought to be, then you should put all those winnings back into the machine to lose it all over again. Now you've extended all the fun from 20 minutes it took to win to 25 minutes it takes to lose.
I like to gamble. I like to play with the money and try to chase the dream because there is that chance that one day you might win the thing. But $11 million. If I had $11 million that I was embezzling from someplace, I would take that and do something else with it.
Sure.
And go play blackjack with it.
That's you though.
Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
I know for me, whenever I go to a casino, I always beat the house by spending all my time in the all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah.
I'm up all night.
I remember my grandmother used to go there and take the... she from the old folks' home, they would take her to Atlantic City and they'd give her the $10 roll of quarters and the free lunch. But she'd just go for the bus ride and free lunch and hang out on the boardwalk and feed the seagulls while she kept the $10 in quarters that they gave her.
And she'd probably give a quarter for a tip every time she went to, say, like a Friendly's or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's what the elderly do.
She never gambled the money away. She just said, I'm going on the free trip because I know I'm getting $10 and I am getting a free lunch out of it. Smart lady.
I'm not technically a senior citizen, I don't think. I mean, 59, is that really a senior citizen?
Depending on who you're asking.
All right, depending on who I'm asking, in most cases I'm not. But if I were, I'd probably do the same thing. If someone gave me like $20 to gamble or a roll of quarters, say, here, go knock yourself out. I'd pocket the quarters and go spend time at the buffet.
You're a Monsignor citizen. You hope to God you don't have to deal with the senior citizen, the discounts.
You're absolutely right.
You get. Children in Springfield can learn to ice skate for free this holiday season thanks to a program sponsored by the Springfield Police Department. The program, which offers free skate rentals, requires participants to bring their own helmets and gloves to the rink. Sessions are scheduled at the Sierra Arena on December 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th from 3 to 3:50 p.m. We need that extra 10 minutes to kick you kids out of here. When they reach their little hands out of their mittens and they need someone to help stand them back up and get behind them or create them skating, they are depending on you, and they get to know you, and that's a great feeling, said Cheryl Clapprood, former Springfield Police Superintendent. Clapprood, who started the program in 1995, has been a prominent figure in the Springfield Police Department for 45 years. The rink is named in her honor.
Is it really?
Isn't it called the Sierra Arena?
Well, they must have given it another name.
And then the Sierra Arena with inside is the Cheryl Clapprood rink.
Now, I don't want to alarm anybody because I think this is a wonderful program that they do, giving the kids a chance to skate. But I got to tell you, in these difficult days and times, when you're talking about law enforcement and ice in Springfield,
that might not be the best combination.
Just saying, you might want to call ahead to make sure that it's the free skate program you're getting into and not like a paddy wagon driving you away.
And listen,
I'm just saying.
You can call ahead, get Uber Eats delivered to the rink. You take your skates off, and then a couple of other kids take your skates, and they slide all the way over to Palmer. And then you got to chase them on this. This sounds really familiar.
It sure does.
Where'd you get delivery from? Primos.
Listen, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying, use use your head here. Just be careful out there.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, cloudy with a high of 37. Tomorrow, winter storm warning is in effect. You could see quite a few inches of snow tomorrow, about 6 or 7 inches of snow. 34 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Aw, yeah.
GG Inc.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 6:53 in Nirvana with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Cloudy today with a high of 37. Tomorrow, snow, and we'll tell you more about that in a little bit. And a high of 34. It's 33 right now in downtown Springfield.
So last week with the Mayflower Marathon and everything else that's going on, I didn't get a chance to mention, not even once, about what's going on at Baxy's Musical Podcast. Last week, my guest was Spike Slauson from the band Me First of the Gimme Gimmes. The band has now changed its name to Spike and the Gimme Gimmes. They got a brand new Christmas single out, a beautiful version of All I Want for Christmas Is You from Mariah Carey. This is a rock supergroup that includes members from the Ramones, the Buzzcocks, NoFX, Bad Religion, Minor Threat, and more.
It's the punk version of Traveling Wilburys.
Very much so, but they've been doing it for 30 years. Yeah. Absolutely cool interview. This week, my guest is Janet Devlin. She is a singer from Ireland. She was a contestant on the X Factor back when she was 16, back in 2010. It's an amazing story. She's got a brand new record out called Not My First Emotional Rodeo. This is a story about addiction and eating disorder and mental health. It's a really powerful interview. She's actually done a really cool documentary called Janet Devlin, Young, Female, and Addicted. It talks about addiction problems amongst women in Ireland, where she's from. So it's an amazing interview. You can check it out on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, the Rock 102 YouTube channel, and on rock102.com. Brought to you by Metro Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram at Chicopee, and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
You know what? I actually did have a nice Thanksgiving. We hosted Jenny's family, and it was a wonderful day. Food came out perfect.
Yeah, mine was too. I had a very enjoyable time. I'm saying I had a very enjoyable time with my family all week.
You told me this yesterday, and I'm going, are you sure it was your family?
Yes, it
you
was
just
my
like
family.
Accidentally go to some other family thinking it was yours.
No, there's 5 of us siblings, and we don't get to see each other very often because of where we all live. We all live in different parts of the country.
Sure.
So it's a rarity that I get to see them all together, which I didn't see them all together this week, but I saw them sporadically, so all within a week's time. And my Thanksgiving dinner was very enjoyable. We had my brother cooked we were going to go out, and then we're like contemplating you go to a buffet, one of these buffets, you're talking $80 a person.
Yeah.
How much food can you really eat? The kids don't really care for turkey that much, so are you going to waste $80 on a ticket? My brother said it was cheaper for me to just go out and get like a 12-pound turkey and just some small dishes. We had like a green bean casserole and the best. By the way, he killed a deer on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay,
and he sent, and the family group text was actually very funny because I said, "You monster! He was supposed to graduate tomorrow."
and just 25 days away from Christmas.
Yeah, and I get it. He's that's his thing. He goes out and he does the hunting. I have no interest, and I told him this. I said I appreciate that you go out and you do that. We need hunters in the world. We need people to keep the deer population down, and you need to make it look like your balls are really big by holding up a deer head in your hands. I have no interest in going out at 5 o'clock in the morning in freezing cold weather to wait for the sun to come up, to then eventually wait to maybe see a deer that maybe could come by, and you might pull the trigger and you might get it, or you could go home empty-handed.
And you might be sober enough to actually point the gun in the right direction.
Right. So he gets the deer. But he started. He cooked the dinner, and we had a nice dinner.
Yeah, that's nice.
The best I like the benefits I reap from the deer because he had the stuff that he had from last year because he brings it to this butcher guy.
Yeah,
and then when the butcher does all the cuts on it, then he takes it down to this place in southern New York State, and the guy makes bolognas. He makes all kinds of like prepared meat with this thing.
Like the venison sausage and stuff?
And let me tell you, dude, the best one is the kielbasa with jalapenos and cheddar cheese. And then my brother puts it on the grill and crisps it up, nice and crispy, and then, slices it and serves it. It's like, chef's kiss.
Fantastic.
And I'm like, you know what? This poor deer's life was worth every bit of this kielbasa.
You gotta appreciate the sacrifice for animals that die for our needs. I appreciate the turkey that sacrifices life. I'm going to appreciate the side of beef and the cow that's probably going to sacrifice life for my Christmas dinner. I'm going to do all those things.
But that deer, man. Hold the Lyme, though. You don't want that on your deer.
No, you don't.
Lyme disease.
I know. I've had it, and it's not that good.
Makes the meat a little tough.
Especially if you got that allergy to the meat. Things get real tough real quick. It's 6:58. Scott Cohen coming up in just a few minutes on Rock 102.
Rock 102, and now, Bax's View from the Couch. Brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, as you know, football is a dangerous game. Game filled with reckless violence, aggression, and unbridled physicality. There's also a few negatives as well. But for the most part, that's why we love the game of football. However, there are times when violence, aggression, and physicality not only become personal, it can sometimes become threatening, even when it comes from the most unlikely and least imposing sources. What the hell am I talking about? Well, let's take a look at yesterday's game between the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, really? Must you? Yes, I must. Yesterday, as Jacksonville was crushing Tennessee 25-3, a situation occurred when Tennessee's Jameer Dyke ran a 47-yard punt return. In this play, Dyke was tripped by Jacksonville punter Logan Cook. During this play, Cook was blocked by Titans running back Julius Chestnut. Cook was injured on the play, evaluated for a concussion, but was immediately able to return to the game. Less than 3 minutes later, Dyke returned another punt, this time for 13 yards, at which point Logan Cook confronted Julius Chestnut with verbal threats, threatening that he was going to kill the Titans running back. According to Chestnut, I was just trying to play hard. I don't know what made him do that. Meanwhile, Logan Cook responded by saying, I may have said some things that sounded rude. Folks, not for nothing, but if someone threatened to kill me, I would find that to be very inconsiderate. However, the fact that these threats of violence came from a punter rather than from an actual football player is perhaps why most people might not take those sorts of threats seriously. I know I certainly would, because you see, if a man can kick a football 50 yards out, imagine what that same kick could do to your face, or perhaps some other unsuspecting part of your body. No, sir, I take every threat seriously, even the ones that make me laugh, like being threatened to death by a punter. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Milwaukee is in East Longmeadow. So is DeWalt and Craftsman. There's more names in the tool department at the East Longmeadow Rockies as well. And the name you need to know is Keith, a seasoned tool expert. Keith knows power tools, hand tools, chainsaws. Good people like Keith and rock-solid service at every Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
It's 7:13 and Aerosmith with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
Winter storm watch is in effect for Tuesday for Hamden, Hampshire, Franklin, and Berkshire counties. Looking for our first plowable snow of the season. Today, cloudy with a high of 37. Tomorrow, snow with a high of 34. It is 33 right now in downtown Springfield.
The weather won't be the only thing plowable tonight. So will Scott Cohen, who's in the studio with us right now. How you doing?
I'm doing well. And I, we'll got the Patriots game tonight. Obviously, We'll talk about that. Congratulations on the Mayflower Marathon to both of you guys.
Thank you.
Kind of a record setter.
It's certainly a record setter, and we don't have the official total yet. That's going to come later on today, but it's on its way. And $260,000 is about almost 28,000 more than
last year
ever before.
And there's more to go.
There's a lot more to come. So
it's like as
awesome.
Soon as and obviously it was a super unusual one. Ironic, poignant, whatever you want to call it. When I think right about this time when I was getting ready to we were in the commercial break before sports, we found out about John passing away. What was that like for you guys to do that?
You know what? I mean, we knew in advance that it had happened, and we wanted confirmation that it was okay for the family for us to mention something, and we didn't want to do anything until we got their say so, because we know them too, and we wanted to be respectful. But we got an early text saying, it's out. You can go ahead and talk about it. We did. I mean, I worked with John for 27 years of my life. I mean, it's a significant part of my history. It's a part of everything that's gone on here since I took this job 30 some odd years ago. It is a powerful and substantial loss, and it's not like we didn't know that it was coming and that it was becoming more and more imminent, but that doesn't make it any easier when it finally happens.
Sure.
And yesterday was the services with his family, and it was a long week. It was like I say, bittersweet. We had a great successful Mayflower Marathon, much of it driven by what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Last weekend. And I appreciate, not only the fact that people stepped up for the marathon, but more importantly, how they stepped up for John and how people remembered him and remembered the Bax and O'Brien show. And it was really very moving, very powerful. And Steve will back me up on this. He felt the same way.
Oh, no, I felt completely opposite. I was like, oh, man, do we have to go through this and do this memorial and all of these nice things we have to say about our friend? And blah, 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 blah.
And these are the kinds of assumptions that I just have to deal with every now and then and just assume that what I'm feeling, Steve is feeling. And I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
What I think the craziest thing about it was, and it was just so typical. Listen, the audience knows John, and, when those of us who work with him know him that way and even deeper. But it just seems so apropos that he would stick his nose right in the middle of the biggest event of the year. And then, I think he was the thread through the 3 days. And I just thought it was really great.
It was ironic.
What's ironic?
I don't know.
No, you're supposed to say it's ironic, and you have to explain what irony is.
It's irony because John died just before the Mayflower Marathon.
No, what does ironic mean?
That's what I meant to say. I'm out of practice. Right. You'll have to forgive me.
Muscle memory.
It is. But yesterday was the services. It was very nice. A lot of very familiar faces showed up, and it was awesome.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Good. And Godspeed for John, man.
Yeah.
There'll never be another one like him.
And for very good reason,
yes,
I'm sure. But nevertheless.
Thank goodness all the way around.
Yes.
So isn't it ironic that the Patriots are sitting here 1 week before their bye, then once they get back to work in 3 weeks, they host Buffalo, who all of a sudden stuck their nose back into the situation, the jackpot yesterday with their win over Pittsburgh. And then they've got to go on the road to beat, to play the Ravens, who are going to be hanging on by a thread to whatever playoff hopes that they have. But they have a team tonight at home that they are favored to beat by more than a touchdown. And this could absolutely, positively be one of those games. So
it could be, but this is going to sound naive because I've been a football fan for a million years, but every time that the Patriots this season have been tested by something, anything, they've stepped up. This is their first primetime game this season. The first Monday Night Football game they've had since in the Mike Vrabel era. There's a lot of, and there are injuries, of course, on the offensive line, and significant ones. But every time they have been tested, they've met the challenge.
Yep.
So, the Giants are a mediocre football team at best. They've had flashes where they seem like things are okay, but they're still the Giants. It's hard to imagine them losing this game, but even if they do, even if they wind up losing to Buffalo and to Baltimore, they still squeezed out a 10-game record, a 10-win record.
Yep, double digits, sure.
Nobody in the NFL thought was going to happen.
Right.
So they can afford to lose a couple of games, and they still will have won 10. I mean, I know that everybody would like to see them win all the way out, and maybe they do, and maybe that's not realistic, but I don't think the world is coming to an end if they can't win the next 5 games.
Right. So it's interesting that you kind of couched it that way, because I think this is kind of the way the national media are, national football fans have been looking at New England, despite the fact that they've got either 10-2, right? I don't know. They won 9 games in a row, whatever it is, something like that. But it's almost like what you just said, Baxie, was a bit of an excuse. So we're almost sitting there saying that, listen, suppose they get upset tonight, or even if they win tonight and then they lose to Buffalo and lose to Baltimore, it's still okay because they've won 10 games. I think they would like to think, and certainly the fans think, that they're beyond that. But I think tonight's game is going to be a real stickler for them, because I think this may be the most important game that they've played this year, because if for some reason you end up getting upset at home by the Giants, where again you're favored by more than 7 points to win, then you've got 2 weeks to sit there and stew on that, and then you're going to hear all the coaches and players say they don't listen to what's said and written about them, but they do. We all know they do, and they're going to be given such a hard time for the next 2 weeks, and hopefully, if indeed they do lose tonight, that doesn't carry over into having to play Buffalo and having to go on the road to play Baltimore. Tonight's game is monstrous for them.
I don't disagree. I mean, it's an important game, but I got to tell you, there's something about this Mike Vrabel coach team which makes me think that even in the worst of situations with injuries and a 9-game winning streak which could easily end, I got to believe that Mike Vrabel has got them well prepared for whatever they might face tonight on Monday Night Football. It's hard to imagine that it goes any other way. Again, they're at home. The Giants are not great.
Everything.
And I think we can all agree that the discussion of the schedule and the easiness of the schedule is now kind of like a moot point.
Yep.
The fact that you win 10 games on any schedule in the NFL with all the parity that exists in the league.
Bax, if you just go and look week in and week out what's happened to it. Look what happened yesterday. There are no super teams in the NFL. The Patriots and Denver Broncos, they're the 2 super teams right now.
Yeah.
I'll have the soup.
Yeah, I'll take
the soup is a good choice.
Yeah. Soup is a good choice.
But I really do think that tonight is not a game to be terribly worried about at this point. I think they win, and if they win, it's like you have gotten everything out of this team that anyone could possibly have imagined, and you still got the Jets and Miami at the end of the regular season to maybe squeeze out 12 wins.
Absolutely. So they're 10-2 again. You go around the NFL yesterday. Buffalo had that big win at Pittsburgh. That was a playoff game for all intent and purpose. But Buffalo passed the test. The Steelers didn't. The AFC North is just a mess. The Jaguars won yesterday. Mm-hmm. Liam Cohen, the former UMass coach, is the head coach there. He's turned that team around this year. The Colts lost yesterday. The Broncos won, but they needed overtime to beat Washington. The Rams lost. I mean, look at the NFC West. It's like there's 3 teams with 9 wins in that division. And then you got the Bears at 9-3. Yeah. So there's the schedule thing out the window. There's so much parity in the league this year. But again, Patriots got that game is just so big tonight. So we'll find out tomorrow morning how it turned out.
All right, fair enough. Very good. We will talk to you next week.
Yeah, talk to you guys next week. And again, great job on the Mayflower Marathon.
Thank you, Scotty. It's 7:24 with Bax and Nagle. Scott Cohen on Rock 102.
Rock 102.
Liam has the full forecast for you.
Bourbon, Barbecue, and Blues is back. Brought to you by Dave Miner Exterior Home Improvement. So, by the way, can we just take a moment to say how generous Dave Miner was last week during the Mayflower Marathon? Outstanding generosity from that guy.
Yeah. He's a stand-up guy. He's the guy you want up there, doing their job.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't want him down on the ground. I want him up on the roof. I know I can trust him up there.
Then he can see all the calamity that's going on, and he knows where to go help. He's like the Superman of roofing.
That's one way of putting it. It's Saturday, January 31st at the Log Cabin in Holyoke from 6 to 9 for a night of great food, smooth drinks, and hot blues from Neil and the Vipers. They'll be back joining us. Your admission includes not only the show with Neil and the Vipers, but a bourbon tasting and a multi-course meal, which is fantastic. Tickets are on sale now at rock102.com. Makes a perfect holiday gift for the bourbon, barbecue, or blues lover in your life. It's Bourbon, Barbecue, and Blues, January 31st at the Log Cabin. Again, brought to you by Dave Miner Exterior Home Improvements and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
And listen, even if you don't partake in the bourbon part, the food alone is worth going to that event. Not only Neil and the Vipers too, but the food is.
I guarantee that somebody at your table will drink your bourbon for you.
Pat Kelly again.
If Pat Kelly is sitting at your table, yeah, or even sitting on the ground like a begging dog on Thanksgiving,
yeah,
then yes, even Pat.
It's like feeding scraps. Come here, buddy. Come here.
Pat.
It's
Good
all right.
boy, Patrick.
Good boy.
But if you rub his belly, he'll be very happy.
He'll even tongue lap it out of the shot glass like a little corgi.
I have not yet seen him drink out of a toilet, though.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, I paid him $5 to do that. But no, the food is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite Rock 102 events. For profit, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Like I like all the other, the big things we do for the Mayflower Marathon, the Rick's Place thing, and all that stuff. But I'm talking about as far as the profitable ones,
right?
Yes. That is a good meal.
It's 7:30. We got news next on Rock 102. Here's your 7:34 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Gary Rome Hyundai. Technicians get up to a $5,000 sign-in bonus right now. Learn more at GaryRomeHyundai.com/family. His local radio icon, Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. It's funny because I'm reading, this isn't local, but a baby was born at a Buc-ee's parking lot.
In the parking lot?
Yeah, a couple from, I think it says Springfield, Missouri, so it's not Springfield, Mass.
Right.
But it says a couple from Marshfield. I'm guessing there's a Marshfield, Missouri.
That's probably a Marshfield, yeah.
A couple from Marshfield is sharing the incredible story of their daughter being born in the parking lot of a Buc-ee's in East Springfield. Nathan and Jenna Birdsong, that sounds made up, who now have 3 children in a rural area north of Marshfield. Last Thursday night, Jenna started feeling contractions. With this being their 3rd child, Jenna wanted to give it some time before waking up Dad. Thursday night, I woke up around 11:30 with contractions. I let Nathan sleep a couple hours and didn't wake him up until around 1:45 when they were a little closer together because I wanted to make sure I was in labor.
So this isn't one of these situations where the water breaks and all of a sudden you say, take me to the nearest Buc-ee's.
No. I need beaver nuggets before I go into the hospital. Can you get me some beaver nuggets? Honey, isn't that what you're delivering right now?
Isn't that what started this in the first place?
Right, yeah, that's how we got into this mess to begin with. You fill up at any one of these 100 gas pumps they got here, go in yourself, get yourself some beaver nuggets and a brisket sandwich. At that point, the couple called Nathan's parents to come watch the other 2 children. They live about 45 minutes away. When the grandparents arrived, things started to progress quickly. When they got here, my contractions were about 5 minutes apart, and it was time to go to the hospital. That's when they tell you when they are 5 minutes apart. Around 2:45 a.m., the couple headed for Cox South in Springfield.
Uh-huh.
Is that what they're calling it these days? Which is about 45 minutes away from home. Nathan explains the moments they realized they weren't going to make it. So anyway, they pull over into the Buc-ee's, and they have the baby right there in the parking lot.
Now, would you name your child Buc-ee's just to confirm? Like, there are some cultures where you get named after like the weather conditions or the conditions of your birth. Like
Bucky the Beaver.
Yeah, like Rainy Night Smith or Broken Prophylactic Johnson. That kind of thing. Those kinds of names happen.
That's my middle name, Broken Prophylactic.
His name is my name too.
Actually, my name was Bud Heavy. Nickname is Bud Heavy because that was the drink that was consumed when I was conceived.
Makes you wonder how every person named Jameson got their start.
You know, my middle name is Jim, so maybe it is like Jim Beam. You know, that kind of connotation to it.
My name is Hennessy Jameson Jones.
How do they clean up the afterbirth of the Buckies? They take that Speedy Dry stuff they get at the gas pump and throw it down on the ground. There you go.
It's that Acme barf dust they used to use in schools.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the pink stuff, right? It's like pink, which is always gross looking.
It is
always
it
gross.
doesn't really make it any better.
No, our family will probably try to nickname her Little Bucky.
Oh, that's adorable.
Isn't it, though?
That is that's going to follow her forever.
Well, it's another miracle of life, and what better way to celebrate the miracle of life than going to a place with a bunch of zombies walking around is a Buc-ee's. Look at all I got! I got beaver nuggets and brisket sandwiches.
No, of course, that's in the Midwest. You don't really have one of those major type of rest stop names here.
Well, we're getting a Pilot in Chicopee.
Yeah, you could name somebody a Pilot, maybe a Cumberland Farms Nagle. I mean, that would be kind of nice, don't you think?
Yeah, Cumberland. That wouldn't Cumbies.
Yeah.
Cumbies Nagle. Which, by the way, I did a video the weekend before the marathon about this stocking that they sell inside the Cumberland Farms that says Merry Cumbies on it. Now, I know that's a New England thing where people call it, it's the Cumbies. We're going to the Cumbies. Do we realize what we're saying when we say that?
You go to some other area of the country, someone's going to say, "Hey, watch where you're stepping."
Yeah, I just stepped into a Cumbies. Whoa! You got any Clorox wipes?
You got some cones to set around this, perhaps? That sounds like a hazmat situation.
Sounds like a very messy visit to a gas station. But isn't that kind of weird that you would have a whole stocking that says, what does that even mean anyway? Merry Cumbies? That's... When you say Merry Christmas, what does that mean? Like, have a happy Christmas? Is that what it is? So what, have a happy store? Like, that doesn't make sense the way it's written.
I don't think they spent a whole lot of time around the conference table workshopping that one out.
Yeah.
I thought someone said probably, "Hey, I got some socks. How about we put our logo on the foot of the sock, on the bottom?" And someone says, "You know what? We're all out of ideas this week. Why don't you go with that and have a Merry Cumbies along with it?"
Well, what young man in this country hasn't had a Cumbies sock in their room?
Got me through high school.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, how do you? I would yank that thing right off and put it up on the fireplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why my mom could never figure out how she couldn't match the socks.
Merry Cumbies. That's like us saying Merry Rock 102. What does that even mean? It doesn't even mean
It means
anything.
nothing.
I mean, it is a basket full of cheer, I guess you could say.
I suppose.
But still. A portion of Boston Road in Springfield was closed Saturday night after a tractor-trailer struck hot wires in the road, causing a power pole to fall. The Springfield police spokesman Ryan Walsh stated at approximately 7:30 p.m. a report came in regarding hot wires down on Boston Road near Elmore Street. Shortly after, a tractor-trailer struck the wires, resulting in a utility pole falling in the area. When the 22 news crews arrived approximately 10 p.m., they saw power lines down and debris in the road.
I believe it's pronounced debris.
I don't know. I'm taking it from the kids over there. A vehicle was seen with significant damage and was towed from the site. A detour was put in place in the area of Boston Road, Methuen Road, and Elmore Street on Saturday night while Eversource worked to repair the damage. But the good thing is everybody's okay.
Well, that's good.
We already did the thing about the guy with the thing.
Is there another guy with a different thing?
No, it was the guy, the funeral home guy, embezzling money
out
of Enfield.
Yes.
$11 million he spent him and his wife spent $11 million at local casinos. So when MGM does their revenue report, maybe that 1 month where there was a spike, maybe this guy was hitting the craps table.
Yeah. Well, I mean, funerals are expensive, and you wonder, well, what is the actual cost?
Well, yeah.
But this guy's skimming a little bit off the top here and there, but what's to say?
Well, next time you go in and the urn costs $3,000, you know that's what he's doing.
Yes.
I gotta. What's the over under? That you're gonna have that money to me by this afternoon.
These are our urns, And these are our earnings.
Yes, we can actually make you into a poker chip with your cremated remains. After several days on the lam, police and animal control officers in Westfield have finally caught a woolly fugitive. After days of going on a rampage, a runaway sheep was finally taken back to pasture. Officials say they've been trying to catch the sheep for days, but it kept evading capture. However, after a united effort, officers were able to bring the sheer madness to an end. Both the sheep and officers were uninjured, though animal control, there were a few bruised egos after the sheep managed to outrun 3 of the 4 people chasing it.
I guess the sheep really pulled the wool over their eyes.
I tried to find one, but I got mutton.
Thanks for mutton.
There's no need to bleat around the bush on this story. I could have shorn I'd seen this post before. Somebody spent a lot of time getting those puns.
Somebody begged their boss to be the one to write that story.
Yeah.
What? Can I write that instead? I got a bunch of sheep jokes I've been holding forever.
What the flock is going on around here? So there you go. The sheep is now caught. It is back home, and all is well over in Westfield.
God bless us, everyone.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be cloudy with a high of 37. Tomorrow, winter storm watch is in effect. Could see several inches of our first plowable snow of the season here in Western Mass, and a high of 34. It's 33 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Shop 30. Click.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 7:52. And AC/DC with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Cloudy today with a high of 37. Tomorrow, winter storm watch is in effect could see the first plowable snow of the winter. 6 to 7 inches that we got expected.
Are you just saying 6'7" because I got 5'8"?
Well, I changed it up. You got to say 6'7". 6'7".
Sound like to say 5'8".
Yeah.
But I really don't have 5'8".
I know.
I really don't have that much.
5'8". But anyway, it's 34 in downtown Springfield.
Hey, for those of you maybe asking if we're going to be doing anything special for John O'Brien's passing last week, we are planning on doing something this Friday.
Yep.
And we'll tell you more details as we get closer to putting it all together. But that is one of our big projects for the week, and so it'll be done on Friday. On this show on
Rock
102.
We'll have more details coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
In the meantime, I went to Syracuse for Thanksgiving.
You got a buddy up there.
I got many buddies up in Syracuse, and by the way, they all know who Dave Coombs is up there, and they all feel the same way. So I can say that with the utmost of confidence. But I had a show on Friday night that I was lucky enough to get a spot on through Marty, actually, with this Jessime Paluzzo, who's very, very funny. What a sweetheart, too. She's a super nice person. It's funny how I've met all these, like a lot of the headliners when I worked at the Funny Bone down in Hartford.
Right.
Some of them are a little too big for their britches. You meet a couple of people here and there.
Sometimes, and I'm not. I don't think I'm saying anything that's going to surprise anybody. But sometimes, comics are like the land of misfit toys.
Yeah.
Like the dented sale.
Yeah.
They're like comics from the pit at Bob's.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they are. But whatever. Jessime. Lovely lady, very nice enough to let me get some time on the show, which was great because I know a lot of people up there, and I had about 50 people come out to see the show.
Wow!
On Friday night, it was my family and my brother's friends, my friends, and it was a nice group of folks that came out to watch that. So
very cool,
very grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. And the mall, though, the mall is called Destiny USA. Now, when I was 12 years old, this place opened, and it was the place to go. But it wasn't. It was a huge mall, but it wasn't the Mall of America type size thing.
Yeah.
But it was big, and they had this big carousel, and that was the place to go. Like, if you were cool enough to get a ride down to the west end of Springfield, you could get on, or Syracuse, you could get on, go to the mall. Now it's like 3 times the size of what it used to be. Over the years, they've added, it's called Destiny USA now. It used to be called the Carousel Mall.
Right.
And it is 2.5 million square feet.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. It's unbelievable. So each section of the mall is like a whole city unto itself. So where there's Funny Bone Comedy Clubs, you got a Dave and Buster's, you got one of them bowling places, you got a trampoline park, you got all that stuff in there, and then you got the retail stores, then you got movie theaters on either end of the mall.
Jesus.
To do it. And
Have you ever been to the Mall of America?
No.
I have.
Yeah, and I cannot believe that this particular mall is the 10th biggest mall in the United States.
Yeah, what's it called again?
A Destiny USA.
See, Destiny USA, that means something in Syracuse. Most malls in America are more like Desolation USA.
Yeah.
Where there's like nothing left in it but eyebrow places, maybe there's a like a Christian Science reading room,
an
or
Orange
something.
Julius,
an Orange
perhaps,
Julius, and that's it. And the Sbarro's about to close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the stores were open. They have an IKEA there. It's a huge complex. You know how big an IKEA is. So think of just the IKEA alone is big enough to be a shopping mall.
Good Lord.
But the rest of it, and it's like, how do they sustain the business in here, though? I just don't understand with so many. I mean, obviously it was busy because it was Black Friday, and
Yeah. Years ago, there was the shopping mall that opened up just outside of Chicago in Gurnee, Illinois, and it was called Gurnee Mills, and it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's like an enormous shopping mall, and it had like a Cabela's in there, but like one of those really giant super Cabela's, and one big gigantic store after another. I remember there was a grand opening, and I was down there, and there were like professional wrestlers, and there were they had singers, they had bands, they had like this huge thing. And what I was told is they had to, in order to sustain that business and keep it moving, the mall had to generate a certain amount of money every single day.
Yeah.
And it was like in the millions. And it's like, this is 1991 back then. I can't even imagine what it must take to operate a mall of that size, to sell, how much you have to sell in order to pay for the space.
It's literally a small city. It's a small city. You're talking 5 million square feet. That is ridiculously huge.
That's unreal.
But what was I going to say about that? I think I lost my train of thought.
You're doing a comedy show.
Yeah, I know. I did the comedy show. I was talking about the space in the mall, but there was the Dick's there. It's the biggest Dick's I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, it's got 2 floors of Dick's.
That's a lot.
Can you imagine 2 floors of Dick's?
No, I can't. I can barely imagine one.
Well, this room is filled with 2 of them every morning. I don't know, how we're gonna.
But you're not erecting anything as a result of it.
No, but man, you get the shaft when you go to the big Dick's store. A Dick's on all Dick's on one floor and all Dick's on the second floor.
Was there a lot of hanging out over there?
Lots of hanging out. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. There you go.
7:59 to Rock 102.
Rock 102 is your home for New England Patriots football. And now, Bax's View from the Couch. Brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, let's face it. We live in a difficult clickbait world in which the internet and the people who use it are bombarded with false information, deceptive headlines, and ill-spirited deception that makes finding credible information virtually impossible to find. The information superhighway is often a dead-end street loaded with potholes and misleading people to unfortunate destinations. And it's not just the AI, and it's not just from hackers and identity thieves. Sometimes misinformation comes from what should be credible sources. Sources such as the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. On Saturday, the Football Hall of Fame announced the death of longtime Lions cornerback Lem Barney at the age of 80 years old. Lem Barney, as you may know, is a second-round draft pick in 1967 out of Jackson State. Lem played his entire 11-year-long career for Detroit until finally retiring at the end of the 1977 NFL season. Here's the problem. Lem Barney is still very much alive. A fact that was confirmed by the Detroit News, who spoke with Lem Barney's sister. Also confirmed by the Detroit Free Press after speaking with Lem Barney's son that, in fact, his father was, in fact, not dead. A fact further confirmed by his presence during Thanksgiving. Hours later, the Hall of Fame issued a retraction of their earlier announcement by admitting that they could not independently confirm the news of Lem Barney's death. And so they have issued a formal apology. So how does something like this happen? I'm not sure exactly. Pretty sure the Hall of Fame follow the same clickbaiting rabbit hole that all of us dive into from time to time. You know, the sort of thing that announced the former Patriots quarterback Steve Grogan had died over the weekend. Except he hadn't. In fact, Steve Grogan is also very much alive. And yet, like idiots, we share that information believing that if it's on the internet, that it must be true, when in fact, it is not. Next thing you'll be telling me is the Football Hall of Fame lacks enough parking to host outside events. Good luck convincing anybody of that bogus information being true. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Think ahead. Maybe about a foot of snow coming. You and a shovel, or you and an Eagle battery-powered snow thrower from Rocky's. Self-propelled, no smelly gas fumes. Rocky's is your winter storm headquarters before and after the storm. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 8:13 at Fleetwood Mac with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be a mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 37. Tomorrow is the winter storm watch or warning, I guess, that's in effect. Could see about 6 or 7 inches of snow coming up tomorrow with a high of 34. It is 34 right now in downtown Springfield.
By the way, a little bit of heads up. It's an Autumn Mist Monday. You'll have a chance to win something nice from Autumn Mist Farms coming up later on this hour.
Just another Autumn Mist Monday.
Ain't just a fun day.
No,
yeah, that's
right.
That's right.
So yesterday was our we said our goodbyes to our former colleague and friend, John O'Brien, which was a very, very well done service, I thought, with a display of pictures and different items that were on display there. I did like the urn with the microphone next to it. That
was cool.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it was, as sad of a day, something or sad of an event something usually is. It was really good to reconnect with all the people that we knew through John and know ourselves from our own our own rights, and it was just I thought it was a pretty good day to remember him.
There was a lot of Bax and O'Brien stuff for on display there. A lot of pictures, a lot of old billboard mock-ups were there. It was really kind of cool to see. It's like, at some point, it's like, well, whose funeral is this?
I know, right?
Is it his? Is it mine?
Is it mine? I mean, we're all like pictures of all of us up there. But it's funny because I think when you listen to somebody, and especially the guy had been on the air for almost 40 years in this area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people with a lot of connection to that. Whether or not you ever met him or not, there are people who had experiences because they listened to him and they can either resonate or they didn't. And a lot of the comments are like, I didn't like him, it's like,
but I loved the show.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's kind of what made the show was that personality. That there's something that can never be duplicated in that aspect of what we had going with that.
There were a couple of news stories that were done last week about John's passing, and a couple people wanted quotes from me and one of my thoughts on the whole thing. It's like,
well, there was that one quote. I didn't even know who that person was.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea. But somebody was asking, and you'll have to forget. Last week was such a blur. It's hard to remember who asked me. But someone asked, what I thought that the key of the show was and what made it so successful. And to me, the key was that John and I, and this is nothing that he wouldn't have admitted to as well, John and I have literally nothing in common. Mm-hmm. But that was the basis of everything that happened during that show. We agreed, in the 29,000 hours that he and I were on the air, I believe we were in agreement for about 15 minutes and not all in a row. So it was like, that was kind of part of it. It was, part train wreck, but then also part odd couple. And so, who doesn't like looking at a train wreck? And then, who doesn't like watching the odd couple? It's kind of like, well, better them than us, better them than me. And that's kind of, I think, what was the fuel to that success. And then, to see a lot of that stuff on display in that. I mean, I got a couple things that I have and I'm never going to let go of, but to see it all
there at once, like a radio museum almost.
In a way it kind of was. And it was strange and but not upsetting in a way, because I mean I'm very proud of all of it.
Right.
And proud of the work that he and I and you as well did. And there's a lot of people that have been involved in our show over the years, and I think they all feel the same way, that this show was something to be really proud of.
Well, and then, there's the other aspect, to this wake that was yesterday was, it gives a more human aspect to who he was outside of what we do here. We don't really hang around with each other after the show. I mean, I think we did a long time ago.
Yeah, but at some point you just couldn't be bothered.
Right. I couldn't take the time.
I didn't want you guys at my house. I didn't want to hang out with you more than I have to. After 4.5 hours, what else is there to talk about?
Listen, when I have a gathering at the house, you are the last person I think of, or even him. He's the last person I thought of to invite over.
And I feel the very same way about you.
I know. I believe me. That's why neither of us have invited to each other to a gathering at either one of our homes. But no, I mean to see. Because his family was there yesterday, obviously, and you got to see pictures of him as a child, as a baby, as growing up just like everybody else does, and different moments. So it was kind of nice to see that different aspect of somebody that you wouldn't have normally seen, because of a working relationship that you have with somebody. So. A peek into that was pretty good. Although, and then we, a group of us went out to dinner afterwards at Figaro's, and to which I asked his brother, Tim, I said, is he paying for this, John? And he said, absolutely. And I said, can I have 5 chicken francaise to go, and maybe a chicken parmesan, maybe a loaf of bread, a couple of salads for the kids, if I can get a dessert down, will you throw in some bibs and hats for the kids?
Last week, John's brother Tim showed up at the Mayflower Marathon with a check, and the check was for a certain amount. I don't want to say how much it was, but we jokingly said, "Is this from John's account?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And
he would have hated that.
And I'm like, "Wow." His very first contribution to the Mayflower Marathon. I mean, I said it jokingly, but we all had a good laugh at it. And it's like, the Mayflower Marathon was something that was started by John and Jonathan Reynolds 32 years ago, and it has grown into something that's he was very proud of as well, and something that we both took a lot of pride in. And so, I mean, the irony of him dying the night before the Mayflower Marathon is not lost on us. But the fact that it motivated people to donate, that really says something very special. So, I mean, I think we all everybody here at Rock 102 in the Open Pantry appreciates the effort that people took, partially because of what had happened, but also because of, what we were attempting to accomplish too. So, I mean, it was really,
bittersweet to say the least.
Absolutely. There's no other way to say it. Bittersweet.
What was the other? I saw John's ex-wife and her husband Simon, who were at the after party. there yesterday, and I walked up to Simon and I said, I am so sorry for the loss of your best laundry customer. Because if you remember, Simon was the guy that ironed his shirt. Who am I going to have iron my laundry? I know. I'll call my ex-wife's husband because I know he's pretty good with a Sunbeam iron over there. And I suggested to him perhaps he might want to get a steamer. It's a lot easier to continue to launder the clothes.
There were a lot of people talking about specific things that were said on the air years ago. And at one point last night, my wife says to me, she says, "Did he really make his mother go out and buy Cialis in Canada for him?" I'm like, yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
So the entire trip to and from Syracuse, I listened to all of these old podcasts, probably going back at least as far as SoundCloud would let me listen, and that's about 10 years ago. And as I'm listening, that was one of the segments. I started out the story by saying, hey, what is the nicest thing your mother has ever done for you? And the story was about a woman trying to get her son laid before he went off to college, and it was this whole elaborate story. But the opening question was, what is the nicest thing your mother ever did for you? And he goes, she got me Cialis from Mexico once. What? It wasn't like I asked her to get me a kilo of Coke or anything. That kind of stuff.
No, but something equally as disturbing.
But one of the lines that I caught in he was trying to find a story on Mass Live, and pop-ups kept popping up, and he's like, "Mass Live, you are going to be the death of me." Wow, how wrong he was about that.
No kidding.
Yeah, I just trying to foreshadow didn't really work out for you in that aspect.
Not quite the same way.
But you can go back if you go on SoundCloud and you go on, even if you just type in Rock 102 full show, you can scroll back all the way to 2015 when we started putting the podcast on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
so
and they're all there. And on Friday we're going to be replaying some old bits.
A few here and there. We might even have an open line or two or one.
Maybe one.
Maybe one.
Maybe half a one. Maybe.
Yeah, no shout-outs. The only shout-out you should be doing is your condolences for John O'Brien.
Yeah, so keep it together, Vince the plumber, okay?
Yeah.
It can
put
wait
Eddie's
a week.
Package Store aside. Put your pride aside for a second. And
the guys at Plimpton and Hills will understand.
Yeah. But there you go.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone who reached out to us over the last couple of days. We both appreciate it. It's 8:23 on Rock 102.
Call or text us anytime on the
8:34 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Kluwitz Appliances. Save big on all appliances every day at Kluwitz. There's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. 4 vehicles were involved in a crash on I-91 southbound in Enfield late Saturday night, resulting in one driver being sent to the hospital. Connecticut State Police stated at approximately 11:46 p.m. on Saturday, officers were called to I-91 southbound regarding a multi-vehicle crash. Following an on-site investigation, it was determined that a Nissan Rogue and a Chevy Camaro were traveling on I-91 south ahead of exit 46 in the center lane. A Ford Transit T350 was traveling in the left lane, and a fourth vehicle was traveling in the right lane. Now, if they all left Springfield at the exact same time, would they make it to Windsor? What time would they make it there?
They never would have made it.
That's right, because they got into an accident. The fourth vehicle reportedly attempted to merge into the center lane, striking the Nissan on the passenger side. The Nissan began to spin out as a result and became disabled sideways in the center lane. The Chevy and the Ford then struck the disabled Nissan. The fourth vehicle drove away from the area following the crash. The driver of the Chevy was brought to Bay State to be treated for minor injuries. All 3 vehicles were towed. Police are asking the public for any information regarding the crash and are searching for the fourth vehicle involved. The vehicle has been described as a 4-door, dark-colored sedan. Witnesses are asked to contact Trooper Halliday at 860-534-1062. Halliday, celebrate. If we took a holiday.
See what you're doing there, yeah.
Took some time to celebrate. It would be so nice.
When you expose us to your inner Madonna, it really is something to be held.
Well, when a news story can reference a Madonna type
Now, do you have any stories about papas and preaching or borderlines?
Papa don't. Actually, yeah, I do. You ready?
Yes.
An Enfield man was arrested on Tuesday in connection with a major embezzlement scheme at a Connecticut funeral home. The Papa don't preach.
Oh, yeah.
He's in trouble deep.
Because I'm having his baby.
I'm having his baby.
Yeah.
According to the Connecticut State Police, in October of 2024, troopers received a report regarding Petrus Funeral Home in Coventry. The individual stated that when she was assessing her client's financial accounts, she noticed that one of her clients had made a payment to the funeral home. However, the payment never been transferred from the business account held by the funeral home owner into the trust account. Following the discrepancy, an audit of additional clients who had used Petrus Funeral Homes was initiated. On March 6, 51-year-old Philip Petrus of Enfield was arrested on the strength of an arrest warrant and charged with larceny, first-degree embezzlement. Following the release of Petrus' arrest, the Eastern District Major Crime Squad in Tolland received many additional complaints from victims of the funeral home. It was discovered that Petrus allegedly embezzled funeral service contracts funds entrusted to him from 31 victims over the age of 60. The victims reportedly held contracts at the Tolland Memorial Funeral Home spanning from 2011 through 2025. Police believe all the victims involved in the scheme could have lost up to $1 million in total. According to court documents, Petrus and his wife have reportedly spent over $11 million at local casinos.
Huh.
That's not, like $10,000. $11 million.
That seems like a lot.
The wampum points must be crazy with these two.
They probably don't have. They probably get like their hotels comped. Probably get to see shows. Probably get to eat at some of the restaurants for free.
One time years ago, I was with this girl I was dating. Her sister had a birthday, and we went down to Foxwoods, for the birthday celebration.
Right.
And they knew a guy who had all these like wampum points or whatever they are at Foxwoods. And we got to go up to and one of the towers there. Is it 2 towers or 1 tower? I don't remember.
I think it's 2.
Well, anyway, one of the top floors of the towers, there was a cocktail lounge with like all this bougie stuff, like the big full-size shrimp cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
And other kinds of hors d'oeuvres. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like the junky stuff you'd get downstairs.
I tell you what, if you screw enough clients and or whatever, you too can enjoy something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to step up to the plate.
They see you at a casino and you're dropping serious coin, win or lose. They're going to set you up nice.
Absolutely. So maybe he's got that access to that club. Not anymore.
Maybe not now,
Yeah.
but he did for a while.
Yeah, well, but I mean, obviously the money might be seized. Maybe your funds might be seized, but those points are still points, regardless of whether they were awarded to you. It's not the casino's not going to go, we're going to take all those points away because of the bad money. No, they don't care. They want you to enjoy yourself while you're there for the next day.
Yeah, and those things don't expire, do they?
I don't think they do.
So let's say hypothetically, you go to prison for 6-7 years.
6-7?
Would those points still be applicable when you get out? 6-7 years from now?
They might be.
Something to think about.
That is something. Think about it. A Massachusetts man was arrested for allegedly driving under the influence following a high-speed chase in New Hampshire. New Hampshire State Police did it at approximately 10:21 p.m. on Thursday. 1021.
Ooh, look at you.
A trooper in Hampton observed a BMW traveling over 120 miles an hour on I-95 northbound. Police pursued the vehicle after the driver refused to comply with an attempted traffic stop. The BMW continued to speed on I-95, driving erratically with the exterior lighting turned off. The driver left the highway at exit 5 onto the Portsmouth traffic circle, traveling southbound on Route 1. Troopers ended the pursuit due to safety concerns and began searching the area for the vehicle.
You know what's remarkable about this story? Not that a BMW could travel 120 miles an hour. I mean, you expect that with that great German engineering. But I have traveled on I-91, on 95 north in New Hampshire, where top speeds on that highway have maxed out in as much as 12 miles an hour. How this guy got around to those kinds of speeds on a holiday weekend, that, to me,
is the most
deserves some applause. There you go. That's a fine German engineering getting around all that traffic.
And didn't crash, which was weird, you know?
Well, first of all, the suspension is very, very good on those cars. Well, they're usually high-quality tires. They don't have a little, you're not going to put donuts on a Mercedes, or a BMW.
Why not?
I don't know.
Police stated that the vehicle was located behind a business on Lafayette Road in Portsmouth. When speaking to the driver, identified as 22-year-old Mason Hebert of Boxford.
Of the Boxford Hebert.
This is our BMW fleet we have here. I'm part of the Mason Heberts of the Boxford Heberts. Anyway, troopers noticed signs of impairment. Hebert was charged and arrested with felony count of reckless conduct and misdemeanor counts of aggravated driving under the influence of liquor and disobeying an officer.
Man, if I saw police catching up to me on my BMW at 120 miles an hour, I'd put the BM in BMW, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but see, they didn't catch him chasing him. They caught him in a parking lot afterwards.
Whatever.
Yeah. You'd think you'd have the smarts to walk away from the vehicle.
Not if you're drunk, though. Not if you're drunk.
Yeah.
That is the equalizer, the intellectual equalizer, how much booze you've had.
Well, I said we were at that show at the Tiger AC Club a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
Marty and I we did the show, and there was this one group of people that just kept talking incessantly throughout the entire show.
Sure,
and which was very annoying. And I said to Marty at the end, I was like, "You would think these people would have enough sense." And he goes, "Stop you right there. First of all, you're talking about Chicopee, and you're saying you would think, which was the first thing that you should."
That's the first thing.
That's their first mistake that you made. Because people, they don't, when they're drinking, they don't think. They don't think. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be cloudy with a high of 37. Tomorrow, winter storm warning in effect. Could see a plowable amount of snow up to 6 or 7 inches. It's 35 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Is your home as comfortable?
Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:50, and Lenny Kravitz with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Going to be mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 37. Tomorrow, a significant snow event, supposedly. I don't know if they're telling the truth or not, but we could see plowable snow. At a high of 34. It is 34 right now in downtown Springfield.
Steve, I should tell you that in the case of a winter weather event, we are brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm.
They got all the stuff you need down there.
They got everything. They got the shovels. They got the snow blowers. They got everything. Everything you could ever possibly want to remove snow. They've got it. And if they don't got it, you don't need it in the first place.
You know what they don't have?
What?
A person to come home and remove the snow for you. That's like the only thing that they don't have.
Yeah, that's the one.
But they have all the tools for you to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say. I was driving up to upstate New York on Wednesday, and the deer... when they talk about how dangerous the deer can be,
right?
I didn't even see this thing until it was already across the highway, and I came pretty damn close to probably hitting. If I had been a couple of seconds ahead of myself, I would have hit this thing because the sun was going down. It was like it was getting dark, but it was still kind of light out, and all of a sudden I see this white tail on the opposite side of the road trotting along, and I'm like, damn, that's these deer, they just don't think.
They're not smart animals.
They are not. I don't know. I mean, they're smart enough, I guess, to survive, out in the woods and stuff. But when it comes to road rule,
I've hit 2 deer in my life.
Yeah.
One on the Ohio State Turnpike. I hit a deer that thought it would be a really good idea to leap over I-90 heading westbound in front of my car.
I'm trying to evade the gantry. That's why.
Well, yeah, because he didn't have the
Easy pass.
he didn't have the easy pass.
Right.
Didn't want to get jacked, because you got to have a minimum of $20 in your account.
Right.
It's very hard.
He can't.
Right, of course, he didn't have the transponder, but it wasn't. I was not the only car on the road.
Yeah.
And the problem is they run fast enough where you can't. And I'm driving fast enough where you can't really avoid them.
Yeah.
Because you don't always see them coming. The other time was in Longmeadow, right on Route 5, right by like around the CVS.
Yeah.
Where Fletcher's is.
Oh, yeah. Probably coming from the barbecue place.
Same thing. Night, he decides to cross the road. I'm the only car on the entire street, and that's when he decides to cross. Didn't look both ways. Didn't look to the left, look to the right, look to the left again, and then cross.
No,
he was right by a crosswalk. He completely missed it.
Yeah. Well, he walked right out into the middle of danger. I don't know why they continue to do this thing.
No, I just grazed him in Longmeadow. And the crazy part about it is you would think that he would at least stop and exchange insurance information. Well, there's none of that at all. I was like, come on now. I'm going to have to pay for this myself?
It's a hit and run. Did you get did the cop show up to your house going, sir, we have a report of a victim at a local animal hospital who came in with a shoulder injury, said that you hit him. He was in whatever your good description of your car was, and the license plate. He got the license plate. And he,
right. Yeah. Like the deer's going to write down my plate number with the hooves. How is he supposed to even hold a pen?
Well, for all the stupidity that these deer have, they are really good. They have a photographic memory. Photogenic memory.
That's right.
They can remember something just by looking.
And always mugging the camera.
Yeah, but you shine a light in his face, the thing don't know what to do. I don't know.
They are profoundly stupid animals. I mean, they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong, and their flesh is delicious, but they are not smart animals.
And another thing, as I was driving, and it's near my brother's house, and I saw it the night we went up there, and then I said to him the next day, I said, I need to go back and take a picture of that road sign down there for that street sign that sounds dirty, but it isn't.
What is it?
Well, I couldn't think of it. And him and I are looking at the Google map like, which one is it? It had some kind of thing. And then finally, after the 3 days that we were up there and I was leaving, I'm like, I'll get a shot of it on the way out. And sure enough, Bussey Road, right? Bussey. And it says Bussey Road ahead, right? And I'm like, it starts out very narrow.
Yes,
but then once you get past just a few feet in, it widens up inside. Yeah.
Isn't there a Y over there?
Oh yeah, it's at the end of the Bussey Street. You got to eat it. You can eat at the Y.
Right, of course.
The Bussey Street. It's a hostel as well. You ever have a hostel Y on Bussey Street?
I have. Yeah. Believe it or not, I have seen my share of hostile Bussey in the past.
Now, the thing is, all that snow that they had the night before was melting all over Bussey Road, so it was a very slippery and wet Bussey. Slick Bussey Road.
You got to be careful of that, unless you got good traction.
Yeah. Did you ever kiss the pavement on Bussey Road?
No, I haven't.
Are you sure?
Nope, not right there in the street. I haven't.
It was.
Now,
and then all of a sudden, at the end, it's a dirt road. It just turns into a dirt road.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, you got to be careful what side of the street you're on, of course.
Right next to a red river.
Now, what are the other landmarks around there? Are there any sporting goods stores that one might find?
Well, there's a Dick's on Bussey Road. I believe there's a big Dick's on Bussey. Not the biggest Dick's I've seen.
No, sure, right. Yeah, but you can pull right in.
Oh, you can pull right in.
And when you leave, you pull right out, you get right back on the road.
And one time I saw Five Guys on there. Five Guys on Bussey Road.
That's turned into a busy thoroughfare.
Well, it gets greasy. It gets greasy down the other end. And there was a Longhorn in there as well. All on Bussey Road.
Wow, that's boy.
It's a busy Bussey. That's what that is.
They've really built that area up, haven't they?
Bussey Day, Bussey people.
Yes, of course.
There you go.
Hey, Hey, look at this.
Hey, look at that.
It is an Autumn Mist Monday. How'd you like a $25 gift card to Autumn Mist Farm? Farm to table, you can't beat their meat. No construction. The road is back open and ready to go.
Yeah, can you imagine if that was on Boosie Road? You get the home wrecker on Boosie?
Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm going to get some meat at Autumn Mist Farms.
I'm gonna
not on Boosie Road.
I'm gonna lay down one of them home wreckers right on Boosie. Right on Boosie.
Why do I feel so uncomfortable?
Yeah, now there's North Boosie and there's South Boosie.
Right.
Yeah, you always want to stay to the South Boosie.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far south, though. You got to be very careful.
Because that's the mouth of the road.
Okay, look at the time. 10th caller right now, 293-1021. It's 8:58 at Rock 102.